Hi again, I'm Tom and I make electronic music under the name Bamboo Leaves. If you're new here, this channel is for those of you who want to learn about making and releasing alternative electronic music. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can catch more videos just like this one as they come out. So today we're going to be breaking down a track in the style of Teebs. This sound has a heavy focus on natural and organic sounding percussion with heavy use of sampling and degraded FX processing. If you like this video, leave a like and you can get the algorithm going for me, and that'd really help me out. So with that out of the way, let's jump over to the DAW. Alright, let's play it from start to finish. Right, first up, we've got this vinyl crackle. So setting a bit of that sort of degraded natural vinyl lo-fi kind of sound, giving a little bit of atmosphere. Next up, I've got this field atmos. So that's just a field recording. It's quite low in the mix, but it helps to fill out the frequency spectrum. And one of these kind of Teebs things is to have these natural Foley sounds in there, and field recordings kind of fit well into that area. We've got this harp sample, so let's listen to this. Strumming across some chords. To fit in the pitch of the track that I've created, I transposed the first one down by -3, and the second one I transposed it up by +2. So it goes up by a fifth, and then it sounds in tune, and it kind of gives that melodic element to the track. So firstly, I rolled off some of the low ends to get rid of that low end rumble to clean up the mix. Secondly, I've bussed off to bus 2, which is my stereo delay. So I've got a stereo delay on a bus. I'm sending some of that signal to that stereo delay, so you get the sound on the regular channel, then you get the stereo delay going off to the left and to the right. So if I didn't have it off to that delay, it would sound like this. But with it, moving around your head, kind of keeping it dizzy, making it interesting. And then I've also got that bussed off to a hall reverb, so it's a Valhalla vintage verb. I'll solo all of the drums together so we can listen to the beat. First up, we've just got a kind of a simple kick sound. So kind of rounded sounding, quite subby, but not much click. To ensure that there was less click, I rolled off some of the top end. So before it sounded like this, and then I rolled it off, deadened it off and rounded off that kick. Right, next up, I've got this dead kick. That was a kick sample that I dragged into the quick sampler. For that, I've dragged out all of that low end kick energy and boosted the sort of the high and mid-range sounds that it had. So I'm just kind of getting that clicky bit to it and none of that sub. It's not really meant to be a kick, it's meant to be just sort of a percussive complement to the kick and the rest of the track. So the two kicks together. Next, we've got this rim sound. This is kind of the main driving element to the drums. That's just a rim drum sample that's been dragged into the sampler. Next up, we've got this Foley snare. So that's some sound of some sort of a rustly, I don't know, something that sounds like it's been dropped on a table, or a bit of paper that's rustling. Probably something that is important with the Teebs sound is to get in that found sound and organic feel to it through Foley. Right, next I've got this click. Right, so that's another sort of percussive sound, and that's kind of hitting on the places where you traditionally get a snare. On there I've dragged a room reverb sound directly onto the track, giving that natural room sound and rolling off some of the top ends. Next I've got these Foley ticks that I've looped over to help build the rhythm. So that's a clock ticking. I've looped that over, made sure it goes onto the beats that I wanted it to. And that again is a found sound, naturals kind of sounding thing. To kind of box it in, I have done a bandpass filter on that to get rid of the lows and the highs. Okay, now we're getting into a couple more pieces of percussion. So I've just got that kind of kick that is the click that is playing at the same time as the main kick. So it's like, so it complements the kick a little bit. So I've got this ripple click. It's quite quiet, but it's just sort of another Foley sound of something being dropped onto a table. I've got a compressor to sort of bring the level up on there and add a bit of gain. Rolling off some low ends, but the creative element to it is I've bussed that off to the stereo delay. So as I've done with the harp, you have the sound and then the stereo delay will take it from there, taking it to the left and to the right. Rain sort of sound is one of the bits that's building up the atmosphere on this track. So I'll play the drums up until this point so you can kind of hear them all in context with each other. Next, I've got these two shakers. And what I've done is I duplicated that onto a different track and I dragged it off so it was on the offbeat from where each of those shakes are going on, so it has like a kind of a constant shake. I've got those both pitched down by 5 semitones. That will be adding that deeper sound, and I thought it sounded better lower down on there. So now all of those drums together with the shakers. Coming back to what I was talking about earlier, I have bussed a decent chunk of these drums off to bus 9, which is my drum bus. So I've got lots of these percussive elements all going off to this drum bus. So if I solo the drum bus, right, so I've taken all the processing off. It's a bit crispier, a little bit more high end. So first up, I've got this tape delay. So the tape delay, I'm not actually using it to do any delaying, but I'm using it for its character section. That I've got this clip threshold dragged down and I've rolled off some of those high ends, and then I've got a bit of tape emulation, modulation going on there, or emulating a tape machine. I've got a compressor on there to squash the sounds in, again sort of adding to that tape compression a little bit. And then finally I've put on a phaser, so I've just got this slow moving phasey sound to kind of give a bit of wash to the sound. It's mostly audible on that rim. Okay, and that's something I was hearing with some of the Teebs tracks that I'm trying to emulate here. Is a bit of like creative modulation effects on drums and percussions and things like that. Just to add a little bit more interest to the track, I've added this sub bass to give a bit of bass. It's really quiet and it's only meant to be there for the headphone users and for people who, well, it just kind of fills out that low end, but it's not meant to be very obvious at all. Yeah, so it's very low and quiet, but it fills out that low sub-frequency range. The notes look like this. And then I've got this vocal chop. This is how the MIDI looks. I've taken a vocal harmony or some vocal chop from somewhere. I've manipulated the start and end position of that sample, and I've just got it pitching around basically. To add a bit more texture to the sound, I've dragged in a vocal transformer. So a vocal transformer, I'm dragging the formant section down by -4. So if I take it off and put it on, deepens that sound and gives a different texture to the sound, and that's kind of what I wanted. That is also going off to a hall reverb. So a few of these instruments, I've got them bussed off to bus 10. So if I just solo bus 10, so those are all the instruments that are being bussed off to bus 10. And what I've done is I've put a single LFO tool on there to do the side chaining when the kicks hit. So if I solo the kick, to let the kick ring through and to help with the mix and add that creative element on top of it. So I'll just play that all together so that you can have a listen now. Thanks for watching to the very end of this video. If you've got any questions, leave it down below in the comments and I'll get around to answering you. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to this channel so that you can catch more videos just like this one as they come out. Other than that, thank you for watching and catch you in the next one.